Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. In this episode, I have a special guest named Philmington. Philmington is a stud and has had a channel on YouTube for the last 3 or 4 years releasing baseball content. And so what we decided to do is team up and have a video where we each have $100 and we invested that in 5 or more cards and we have to sell them a month from now. And we're going to see between me and Phil who has the better return. So Phil, if you want to just take a second, introduce yourself, kind of explain who you are, I think people would love that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Philmington. I've been making YouTube content actually for only 2.5 years, but I guess that kind of makes me somewhat of a senior citizen in this community just because of how many new people that are in here. And I like to make all sorts of different videos. Sometimes I break stuff. Usually it's somewhat centered around the market, some commentary with on the investing side. Generally, that's what people have liked the most out of my style. It tends to be very analytical.
Awesome. And Phil also has the rookie explosion box. His stuff just sells out. So I don't think he has many openings. I think it's like once a month. He has maybe one. So, but if you ever want to see some cool boxes busted, go look at rookie explosion box. He does a lot of really cool packs from past years and puts them into products. So anyways, to just jump into it, I'll let Phil go first. He used his $100 to buy, I believe, 7 cards, and I used mine to buy 5 cards. I'll let him do the first 2, and then I'll do mine after that.
Yeah, sure. So first, little disclaimer. This was a contest. I took a lot of chances. I certainly wouldn't replicate this strategy if I had a greater sum of money. I wouldn't have picked these same players and used these same allocations. For instance, roughly 25% of my money went to pitchers. Usually I would recommend for any 6-month plus strategy that if you're going all baseball, your allocation to pitchers should be between 2 to 5%, assuming we're going after the modern players, which we both did. I picked 7 players, so I try to take advantage of that I could get some good deals here. So should I just get started?
Actually, let me just tell them the quick rule. So we did 5 players. You have to have 5 different players. You couldn't buy the same guy multiple times. Shipping and taxes wasn't included. And we had a hard cap of $100. I might have gone over by $1, but I think Phil will forgive me for that. So I may have already forfeited technically. So this video might be over. But okay, let's hear it, Phil.
That's right. I should have counted your allocations when you sent them to me. So this is a 30-day contest. So whoever has the greatest returns over the course of 30 days ends up winning. So again, a lot of my high upside picks, a lot of these wouldn't be fitting for strategies greater than 1 to 2, 3 months. Some are, but you'll get to that when I explain them. So first card I chose, so probably the one I felt least comfortable about, and certainly after today, opening day. By the way, we pretty much picked all our cards before the first game of the season started. So, some of the stuff we didn't already know, who did well, who did poorly during day 1 of the season. But Luis Castillo, right? 2017 Topps Update Gold Parallel. That's my first card. He got lit up today. Paid $10.50 for that. And I saw Gold Parallel. I saw one of a pitcher who I believe is a top 15 pitcher in the game. He's not super young. He's 28, but he does have one of the easiest schedules in April, which matters. It wouldn't have mattered a year ago or 2 years ago, but now people are day trading cards like they are stocks. So just one good start could end up blowing up a player. This one doesn't work out. It's just $10, whatever. If I do have to hold on to the card for a long period, it does look like a pretty nice one. Maybe I'll be able to slab that once the grading companies reopen again. Second card, $15, Kyle Tucker, 2015 Bowman Draft Refractor. Picked this one up of ComC. Guy, I think he's just a little bit underlooked. He was the best hitter in the Houston Astros lineup last year. He's still only 24 years old. He's one of the few players in baseball that has 30-30 potential, okay? He's a left-handed hitter that hits left-handed pitchers. That's actually a tough trait to find. Should keep him in the lineup all the time. Last year, we didn't know if he was going to have a job. This year, he's the outfield for the Astros, and I think good things are to come with Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, I actually like your Luis Castillo pick, even if it's not good for the short term because he did get pretty beat bad today. But overall, if he has a decent season, you're not going to lose your money on that no matter what happens, in my opinion. If you lose to $9, it's okay. I think you can handle that dollar loss. But anyway, so my first pick, and we're going to do them in order of like what we thought was the least likely to grow versus what we think is the most likely to grow. So my 5th pick is I picked a Gavin Lux Topps Chrome PSA 9. I paid $18.29 for this on auction. The reason I picked it is because Lux will finally have the opportunity to actually be in almost the everyday lineup, which has been a big problem for the Dodgers. They've just had so many good players. I think they had Kike last year, and they have other utility players like Chris Taylor that kind of take up some of those playing time. But Gavin Lux has been given the opportunity to actually make an impact. So I picked his cards up. The other one I didn't buy, but like a similar player is Will Smith. He's like, in my opinion, the best hitting catcher in the game, maybe besides JT Realmuto. But there's some of those Dodgers players that are just solid. So this is the one to take a chance on. Because it is a PSA 9, I'm actually getting this card for less than what it would have cost to grade at this point. Well, now it's suspended, but it's $25. So for $18, I thought it was fine.
All right, my next card is Ketel Marte, 2016 Topps Chrome Refractor, paid $5.50 in auction. And Ketel Marte, he's a guy that kind of had a lost 2020 season. 2019, he was very, very good. I think he had a 970 plus OPS, both in the first half and in the second half. And he's a switch hitter, so he did that against lefties and right-handed pitchers. Very impressive. The skills are well-founded. I think now he could have been a beneficiary of the juice ball back in 2019. A lot of people saw his 2020 numbers, no power. Maybe that was the reason. But this past spring training, so I think one of the most important stats to look at, like what's indicative of future success, if you're to look at spring training stats at all for hitters, is exit velocity. He had 3 balls that he hit that were at least 110 miles an hour off the bat. And this is a guy that can hit for average. So, he's not super young, but he's a guy that I think has upside. We've seen a lot of, I feel like the basketball, we've seen a lot of cross-pollination, and I think people are taking the Topps Chrome base refractor and they're comparing it to like the Panini Prism Silver, both not numbered. I don't know if that hype's going to last forever. I do think that Topps Chrome refractors, base refractors that aren't numbered, are maybe a little bit overvalued right now with baseball, but this is a 1-month strategy. So that's my pick, and he almost hit for the cycle today.
Yeah, he had a great game, which only helps. And that's kind of where I got my strategy from. You'll see moving forward, a lot of the guys I picked are going to be veterans. And I think there's undervalued players that we have to hope that they have a great month of April. Because if they do, that's how I can beat Phil, which hopefully happens pretty easily. But we'll see. So next one I have is Giancarlo Stanton. I picked up his Topps Chrome rookie from 2010. I paid $10 for it. I don't know the condition, obviously, but it wouldn't have time to grade it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I actually think this should be a $20 to $30 card if he can have, 5, 6, 7 home runs this month, which he's capable of doing if he plays hot. Did not look good today at all. Actually looked really bad on opening day. But we're releasing this later, so maybe by then he's doing great. But I think this one is just, we've seen this in the past. I remember last year when Stanton, I don't know if it was the beginning of the year or the beginning of the playoffs, he did awesome. And I remember people started buying his stuff just because he started to peak on the Yankees. And I think if he does well, that will be an easy sell. So we'll have to see what happens with him. But I like that one.
I do like that pick a lot too. I was a little bit envious. I'm like, why did I think of him?
And that was a good buy because it was a $12 best offer. I just threw 10 out there and he was like, sure. So I'm happy with it.
Very nice. All right. Next up for me, this is going to be probably the only safety blanket that I have in my entire allocations. And, this is all opportunistic. If I had time to really create like a strategic allocation, I would have probably allocated more to a player that was a bit safer, somebody who's done it before. And that's Christian Yelich, 2013 Topps Update rookie, PSA 8, about $25. Now, for somebody who's safe, he was terrible last year, struck out about 30% of the time. His numbers overall were really bad coming off that season in 2019 where he busted his kneecap in September. But this is a guy that prior to 2020, he was probably the best offensive player in the National League for 2 years in a row. People might not remember that. The hobby wasn't really exploding when that happened, but I think he could be back. And going back to what I said about Ketel Marte and his exit velocity in the spring, Christian Yelich, he's got it. And guess what? Even last year when he was struggling, he still had, based on Baseball Savant's data, at least 99th percentile exit velo. And I believe his barrel rate was also really high. So Christian Yelich, PSA 8, maybe people will think like, oh, well, I'd rather get that than a raw card because, there's like this somewhat of an illusion of scarcity with slabs right now because all the grading companies seem to be closed. So I think it might be easier to sell than a raw copy, even though it's a PSA 8. And it's a 2013. This isn't ultra modern. So, 2013 card. If it was 2019, 2018, probably prefer the raw copy, but 2013, maybe not.
No, I think it's a good buy. Obviously, like last year, his BABIP, I haven't looked, but I'm assuming that was really low. He was unlucky. He was just struggling. Obviously, if you break your kneecap, it will probably take a little bit more time to rehab it and get game going, like game ready. But he has put on a ton of weight this year. Well, by a ton, probably 20 pounds, which might fall off during the season, but he looks good. Even today, he played well. He had a double in the 9th that kind of got a rally going for him to win the game. So I think that was a great buy. All right, my next one, and this is one that I like long-term. I actually have 2 or 3 of these just myself, but this one is so cheap. Paul Goldschmidt Bowman Chrome Rookie Refractor from 2011 Bowman Chrome. This set is relatively iconic. You know, you have the Mike Trout. I think it's just 175 Bowman Chrome, not the actual draft version, but the regular version, which is becoming more and more iconic because they're comparing that to LeBron James 2003 Topps Chrome because Mike Trout's not in Topps Chrome. But because Paul Goldschmidt is probably the only other Hall of Famer, I think Paul Goldschmidt's close. He's not quite there in that set. I think he could blow up. Now that he has Arenado behind him in the lineup, he'll have more pitches to hit, in my opinion. And now that he's been away from Arizona for a few years, his numbers are getting better every year. His first year was rough. 2020, he was actually really good if you look at his numbers. And this year, I think he has a chance with more pitches coming his way, not pitching around him, to have a really hot start. So I paid $13 for that one.
Very nice. Yeah, I do like that pick. And I think that card does have a place. I remember when Jose Altuve actually, when he was more of a hobby darling than he is now, that card was actually outselling some of his earlier Bowman Chrome stuff. And I think it was because of that Trout connection. So I definitely like that pick. Goldschmidt is a guy I have on one of my fantasy teams. All right, next up for me is going to be 2013 Bowman Draft Chrome Gold Refractor, number /50 of Austin Meadows. So hit a home run today. This is a guy that I did a speculation series video a few years back, and he's a guy that had a lost season last year because of COVID. I think he came back right before the playoffs. His timing was completely off, even though they slotted him in like the number 3 or 4 hole. He just wasn't himself. Not super young, not the best market, but we're talking a 30-day period. The market shouldn't matter as much. If we're talking 6 months, if we're talking long-term, I think the market is a bigger factor. And Austin Meadows isn't a guy that they can afford for a whole lot of time if he succeeds. But this play was based on Gold Refractor, basically the standard color numbered Bowman Chrome parallels. So not talking the autos. I've seen over the last 6 months, they've actually done really well. So where a Gold Refractor non-auto Bowman Chrome first card would generally sell for about the same as a base auto from Bowman Chrome. Now they're selling for quite a bit more, like maybe 20, 30, 40% more when it used to be about the same or a little bit less. Most people prefer the autograph, but those are coming into style a little bit. So this is a little bit of a play in the Bowman, the Gold Refractor, a little bit of a play on Austin Meadows too. This is a snipe where I had actually a price set I set my price around 46. I didn't know if he was going to be in the portfolio because I thought he might be a little too expensive. I was happy to see I got him for $23.
Yeah, that's a good buy. To be honest, I will say, I feel like the whole Acuna and Tatis, like boom, that's happened this last 12, 36, whatever months that's been going on. That's kind of helped boost the Bowman Chrome rookie cards, like the Bowman Chrome first cards, not rookies. But even if you look at like Mookie Betts, it hasn't hit those earlier players yet because his 2014 update and his 2014 Bowman Chrome, huge price like discrepancy. The update's $200 raw or right around there. The Bowman Chrome's $65 to $70 raw right around there. So it's crazy, but Phil is right. Any modern player, those are a card people are really turning to for some reason. So I like it. And then my next pick, my number 2 pick, I really like this one personally for a couple of reasons as a Rockies fan, but I picked up a Trevor Story 2016 Topps Update Gold, and those are numbered to 2016. This card is unique because it's not really recognized yet, and that's because his Topps Chrome rookie, which has been a lot more popular, is a different photo because it came out before the Topps Update flagship rookie card. But it still holds that gold parallel and that scarcity, and is starting to move. I picked it up for $16. I don't know the condition. The photos are horrible. There's a huge light glare on it. But overall, I think easily that could be a $30, $40 card. At least it should be. It all depends on if Story can be hot. But I was watching on ESPN today, the opening day. You know, they were really just praising Story because now that Arenado's gone, there's nothing to talk about in the Rockies. So if they're ever on national games, that's what they're going to talk about. And people are going to start speculating on Trevor because he will be leaving at some point. And I know that. I want him to, as a Rockies fan, to succeed somewhere else because our organization needs to restart or rebuild. But overall, I just think this card could grow. I'm hoping Phil will be nice enough to not make me sell this one. We can just look at comps because I would love to keep it long term. So.
Yeah, I love that Story pick. And I was like, oh, you got him for like $6 more than what I paid for Luis Castillo. I mean, Trevor Story, although he's in Colorado, although he'll probably never win an MVP if he stays in Colorado because the WAR is like, it's like almost like too much. It's like adjusted downwards because the ballpark effect, or maybe it is fair. We'll see what Arenado can do a full season away from Coors, but very well-rounded player, still probably unquestionably a top 25 player in the game. He's just great. He's well-rounded, just like Arenado, offensively, defensively.
Last year, he led the league in stolen bases too. So overall, I think like Phil said, he's just like, he's good all over. And they even said today, he like is third in defensive runs saved for shortstops in the last like 3 years. I think behind Andrelton Simmons and I can't remember the other one. But overall, like he's a good player. So represent the Rockies. Sorry, Rockies fans besides me. And Phil's a Boston fan, so he understands too right now. So anyways, sorry, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the next card, number 6 for me, and I know we were supposed to go in order of like which ones we felt least strongly about to most strongly about, but I didn't want to name off 2 pitchers in a row because then you guys probably would have tuned out. So Jose Berrios, $11, 2016 Topps Chrome, blue refractor autograph. This one, it's kind of a dart toss. So unlike Castillo, he's not a bona fide, he's not even an ace of his team right now. Kenta Maeda started opening day. He's not even for sure a top 20 pitcher in the league. I think he's top 25, close to top 20. I think there's a possibility he could be top 10. He has spurts of dominance, which is why I liked him for this 30-day challenge. This is a guy that when he has the feel of his curveball, he can be very good. He just needs to find consistency of that. He did make some steps last year where I think he changed his positioning on the pitching rubber. I think that helped. We'll see if that translates. I don't know. I could definitely see this busting in my face. I don't see myself losing a ton of money here because of the revived interest in Topps Chrome autographs. Before it used to be Bowman Chrome autographs. And now people are loving the Topps Chrome autographs a lot more than they used to relative to Bowman Chrome, I feel. But Jose Berrios, dart toss, $11. And I'll probably lose the contest because of him.
No, I think it's a good buy. I really do. I saw because, getting a refractor, like blue refractor for that low of a price, that's a good deal. He only needs to pitch 3 good games this month, and he will be at least 20, $30, in my opinion. Maybe not 30. 30's pushing it, but at least $20. So I think that's a good buy. My number 1 pick is, some people might like it, some people might hate it, and I put a lot of my allocation into it, but I picked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I picked the no number. It's a PSA 9. It's his short print, kind of like Acuna's in the previous year, his bat down short print in Series 2. A lot more of these exist. They printed a lot more of these than the Acuna. They're pulled a lot more often, but it's still his true rookie. His true rookie, his flagship is an update, but no one collects that. At least from what I've seen, people always go for this no number, and that may change as he blows up. But I picked it up for $42 on Instagram. I picked this one just because Vlad, he has, I think if you actually look at his numbers, Vlad is good. He's only 22. He came up in his age 20 and 21 season and put up disappointing numbers, but he was still good. Solid WAR. He's like an actual positive WAR player. And I just think if he has a solid start, people are going to love Vlad. People want Vlad to be successful because they have a lot of money into his Bowman Chrome autographs and to his other rookie cards. So if Vlad plays good at all, you're going to see a lot of people on social media pushing him, which will really benefit this card. So my hope is just to kind of ride the wave if and when it happens, because I think this could be a $100 card if it goes up, because his PSA 10s already are pretty expensive, but the PSA 9s, I even saw a couple actually sell for around like $60 already. So I like this pick a lot, but that's my thought process behind it, is because it's such a short time frame. If he starts hot whatsoever, I think I'll be able to easily get 30, 40, 50% back and maybe more.
Yeah, I like that play. I like the price you paid too, and especially after seeing him more over the last couple of weeks, the weight he lost really translating, really shows that he worked really hard in the offseason.
And now he's at first
wasn't
base,
just something
which I like.
Yeah, that'll be good for his health.
Yeah.
And he's 22. A lot of people forget that. It seems like he's been around for a while and he's disappointed for a while, but he's still 22, guys. He's still super young, same age as Tatis. So I do like that play. My last pick was $5 for a 2015 Topps Heritage action of Byron Buxton. And this is a guy who last year started to break out a bit. I mean, he only walked 2 times, and actually in day 1, he walked twice. So I don't know if this is a sign of things to come. Probably not, because, he's been around for a while. I don't think he's going to all of a sudden turn into a disciplined hitter. But even last year, when he was very, very impatient at the plate, he did very well from a power perspective. His batting average was quite high. And I think with a guy like Byron Buxton, it's similar to Giancarlo Stanton, where you just need him to be healthy for 30 days. I think Byron Buxton's proven that if he's healthy, he's going to be a productive major league hitter. So betting on him to be healthy for the full season, maybe I don't want to do that. He plays pretty recklessly in center field, but let's try the 30-day thing. Let's see how that works. He hit a home run opening day, sign of things to come. I don't know, but it's $5. It was also a listing that had no picture. So I thought I could probably get a good deal on it. He actually described the condition as mint. It's raw. I'm not going to really expect anything to grade over like a, BGS 8.5 when it's raw anyways. 2015 card. It's a Topps Heritage action, which I think that part is not probably the best 30-day play because they are undervalued. If you look at pops across all different sets, and I think that might be more of like a 3 to 5 year thing for that to materialize and for that market inefficiency to go away.
I think the Buxton buy is awesome. If you actually saw his home run he hit today, again, I'm really glad we actually filmed this on opening day so we can kind of see some of it start. But he hit like a 450-foot home run. And Buxton has always been touted as a player who is great like on the base pass and in the outfield. If you ever watch him play the outfield, he's probably the best like defensive center fielder we've seen in a while. But if he can have just an 800 to 820 OPS, his WAR numbers are going to be godly. Like, 7, 8, maybe not that high, maybe 6 to 7. If he can just be a good bat, have like 3, 4 offensive WAR, 3 defensive and offensive. You get my point. Overall, I think that's a really good buy. Even if it's not short term for you, I think in the long term, you're going to have a huge benefit from it. So guys, those are our picks. That's what we picked for our month period. This is our first time ever doing it for both of us. So if they are all horrible, give us some slack. But I think both of us will make some positive money back. Let us know down in the comments who you think has the better option and what cards you believe in, what ones you don't. Overall, appreciate Phil hopping on. Go like and subscribe to his channel. It's some of my very favorite baseball content out there. Very analytical, very logical, and very straightforward. If you actually look at a lot of his predictions, recommendations, he's almost always right. So Phil's a great dude to follow, one of the best baseball YouTubers out there. But anyways, Phil, thanks for hopping on, man. Please like and subscribe to my channel as well, and appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the next video.
Take care.